USFCougars.com here with Reid Ehrisman, USF Director of Track and Field and Cross Country. Big couple meets this past weekend, a lot of top 10 marks, school record with Trey Ferguson. What was your biggest takeaway from the meet?
Yeah, like you said, we set 13 top 10 marks and Trey in that 6. You know, a little bit about Trey, I just want to share this with you. I mean, incredible young man and one of the hardest working guys that I've ever been a part of in the 10 years that I've been here. We've got a lot of hard workers in this program and committed athletes, but he's at the top of that list. And freshman year, I just want to share this with you. Freshman year, Trey was on a DMR that was going to nationals, and we were at the national meet, and he pulled his Achilles or did something to his Achilles and basically took him out. That DMR ended up getting 8th that year. Was an All-American, and we had an alternate in his place. And then last year as a sophomore, we decided to kind of shift his training more to 800, and he really struggled to adapt to that and had a terrible season. And then comes back this year, relentless. I mean, it's been our word this year that we've used, and he's been relentless in his pursuit of reaching his full potential. I mean, running 119, 87 or 86, and just his perseverance to get through not only the freshman year of not being an All-American and the setback of last year, but then having that performance. I mean, I went running to the finish line and gave him a massive hug because I mean, what he's been through as an athlete and how, you know, he's the definition of relentless, and I'm so proud of that kid and the leader that he is for this team. So I would say that might be the highlight of the season to me so far, what he's done. You know, other things that I feel like really stood out is Teddy. Teddy went 8:27, I think, in the 60 hurdles, was named the NSIC Track Athlete of the Week, which he deserves it. Well deserved. I mean, that guy is a multi-eventer for us. During the outdoor season, he's training for 10 events, and so during the day, he has multiple practices. He has long hours, and to do what he did with the hurdles and to come back this week with a multi, I think his confidence is high, but it was just a well-deserved honor, and appreciate the NSIC recognizing that. And then we had our milers, and even Stephen Brown. They competed on Saturday of that meet, the Jim Emmerich meet that they had up there, and you know, with you know, going 4:13 for Jace, and I think high 4:13 for Mason, and then 4:14 for Billy, and then Zach Lundberg the night before went 4:16. Pretty awesome. And Zach, I would say, as a freshman, I mean, he doubled that night on Friday. Went 4:16, came back around 1:58. You know, and he's running at a high level, and I feel like if he would have been on that race on Saturday, he probably would have been right there with those elder guys. And so those things really stick out. Again, the throwers. I always go to the throwers. It's fun because it's always, during meets, it's always fun to go over them because they're always doing well. It just seems like Coach Rauscher's doing a phenomenal job. Derek is PR'd in the shot put, and Christian again in the weight throw and the shot put. They're doing really well, so that's exciting. Becca Gorson had a good mile, went 5:25. She doubled that day and was 10th on the all-time list. It was a great meet for us, and our quest is 50 top 10 records and 8 school records, and we've set 49 of those, and we've set 5 school records so far. So this marks the halfway point of our season going into MSU. In terms of regular season, we got 4 meets left in the regular season, and really excited about this weekend and having a multi-event where, again, Teddy can see what he can do and see if he can improve his mark and maybe move up the national list and maybe punch his ticket to go to nationals. And we know he's definitely capable of doing that. And we're sending a group out to Colorado to run a DMR. It's going to consist of Jason, Mason, Billy, and then Trey Ferguson, and they're heading out there. A few jumpers are going to head out there. Evan and Clara and Jada are going to head out there. Excited to see what they can do out at Mines, and hopefully run a DMR that's good enough to get them into nationals, and have maybe some jumps in the long jump and triple jump that can maybe get Jada or Evan into nationals potentially.
You touched all the bases, but I mean, that it's pretty exciting what this weekend holds. This weekend coming up is the DMR kind of making their debut, and that's something you can't run multiple times over the year.
Yeah. And
talking with Coach Peterson of the distance guys, he's pretty confident in what they can do and get a good conversion with the track size and the altitude. And you touched on that, that's those guys 2014 or 2015 when they did that, and Trey happened to miss out, so he's got to be hungry going into that, right?
I actually, coming in the office this morning, I ran into Trey, was his birthday yesterday, and I said, you ready to go this weekend? And he's like, I've been waiting for this for 2 years. That was his comment to me. And to see those guys, what they did, the distance guys, what they did in that mile on Saturday, I think they're ready. They're ready to go. I mean, obviously you're at altitude, the track is small, but the conversion is generous, and so I'm excited to see what they do. You know, another highlight from this week was the USDF CCCA rankings came out. I think 14th for our men's program is the highest since I've been here, which says a lot just of just the depth of our team and the quality at the national level. And our women's team is 37th, and I think they could potentially move up, but that's exciting to see too. And I think that DMR will only help our rankings for next week. If we can kind of hold on to the marks that we have, and potentially Teddy moving up that list, we could maybe move up a couple notches on the men's side. We'll see.
All right, thanks, Coach. And again, you guys are splitting the squad, going to Minnesota State Multi and Open in Mankato, and then sending out some teams to, or some kids to Colorado School of Mines and Golden. So we'll be sure to keep up with you, and can't wait to talk to you next week.
Okay, thanks for all you do.